Welcome to the Lawson and Gift podcast. Make sure to hit that like button, share the videos, and subscribe. And we're on to week 8 over-under Vegas spread picks.
Gift, we're almost up to 1,000. Great job, great work. If you want to come on the show, send me an email. LA, then my last name, Lawson21@gmail.com. LALawson21@gmail.com. We'll have guests on real soon.
So we'll start with the game tonight. Washington at Minnesota, the over-under 42.
Gift, I'm going under because I don't know how much this Washington Redskins offense will be able to score. Now, I know there is some worrisome signs from this Washington defense, but I do expect them to play good, and I do expect Washington to run the ball a little, which will make it hard for this to go over, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm on the same page as that, under, because of this Minnesota defense. Washington they don't have enough places to go with the football. They really can't run the football either. This defense with Minnesota, give me that in this game. And with that, we'll go to the Giants at Detroit, the over-under 49.5.
I have to go under here, but it's reluctantly. And it comes down to the Giants defense just being trash. That's why I'm going over. We've been pretty much going over in all the Giants games this year. I don't really see that changing. You're probably on the same line of thinking.
Yeah, I have to go over, and it's really because Detroit right now, especially if Darius Slay is banged up, that's going to go a long way to this being over. But really my worry lies with the Giants offensively. And I know Matt Stafford's going to go out there and put on a good show in this game, but how bad is Daniel Jones going to be? Because everybody's already anointing him as like you said, Danny Dimes, and saying stupid things like that. I'm not there yet. That was a horrible showing against Arizona. But I got to believe that they can get some points going. Saquon's back for another week. But yeah, I'm not so sure about it because of that offense. So with that, we'll move on to Tampa Bay at Tennessee, the over-under 45.5.
Yeah, Giff, I'm going over, but really, really reluctantly, because both of these offenses have serious problems. Tampa Bay should have explosion, but we know Jameis Winston brings a laundry list of problems. I'm going over, but normally I'd go under here because I actually really trust Tennessee's defense.
I like Tennessee's defense, and the only thing I'm worried, though, about that is the pass rush for them. And that's, if you give Winston time, he will deliver the ball. It's when he's under duress where he makes terrible, terrible mistakes. So that could be an issue for Tampa Bay. But, yeah, I got to go over. I think Winston gets the protection, is able to throw. And Tennessee, Tannehill has had a little bit of resurgence with the offense. So I expect them to get enough points. Yeah, true.
But Geff, I have to agree with you because we were calling for this change for 2 to 3 weeks. I think it provides enough rejuvenation. That's another reason why I'm going over.
Yeah, and I could see them scoring in the 20s, and that's really all they have to get to for this to go over. And with that, we'll go to the Chargers at Chicago, the over-under 41.
Geff, I don't trust neither one of these offenses. I don't trust either one of these quarterbacks. I think this is a crappy game to watch. I think this is a really gloomy game on a Sunday at 1 p.m. I am picking Chicago to win, but I do think this goes under. If this goes over, though, Chargers are going to win this game because they're simply more explosive and their quarterback's better. But this is going under. It has it written all over it, even though it's rather low.
I have to go over, and I was shocked last week that game went over, although with Chicago, although the points that Chicago got were in garbage time.
Well, because the Saints put the hammer on them.
Yeah, and I don't expect the Chargers to dominate Chicago, but I actually do think the Chargers are going to win this game. So I have to go over because of that. And with that, we'll go to Seattle at Atlanta. There's no line on that, so we'll skip that game. And we'll jump to the Jets at Jacksonville, over under 41.
Geff, I'm going over. I mean, this Jacksonville defense isn't the same thing it was before. And I know it's easy to pick on the Jets, Adam Gase and Sam Darnold. I certainly have my problems with Adam Gase. But Geff, they're going to be able to muster something, you think? And the Jags offense, they're scoring over 20 points a game every single week. This Jets defense, while I think they play good, I still think there's points to be had in this game. Over.
I have to go under in this game because those struggles against the Cincinnati Bengals really got me worried about Jacksonville and their offense and what they're going to be able to do. To only put up 17 points, the defense did the rest, but to only put up 17 points against a Bengals defense that already had issues, but was without 6 starters. I can't trust Jacksonville. I got to believe that Greg Williams, that defense, is going to be able to really key in on Minshew. We've seen him have his share of problems. And from a Jets perspective, I think they get the win in Jacksonville, but I don't think it's going to be an easy win for that, and I don't think it's going to be easy for their offense. And with that, we'll jump to the Eagles at Buffalo, the over-under 43.
A surprising over for me because this is World War I for the Philadelphia Eagles. They're back against the trench, and they're going to have to come forward into no man's land. And yes, they will. There's going to be a risk of turnovers. We saw that last week against the Cowboys. But I do think they put up points. But also, I think they churn it over. Bills will get lots of points on turnovers. I have Bills winning this game, even with the Eagles in last stand mode. Go over here. Pretty confident about it, even though my original interpretation of this was under all the way.
Yeah, I got to go over in this game as well. And I'm a little bit worried, actually, from a Buffalo perspective because we've seen that offense struggle. There's nowhere for Josh Allen to go with the ball through the air. But I do think they get the run game going a little bit. Fletcher Cox is going to be out in this game, so I think that'll help them get the run game going. Then I think some play action will help the Bills get that done through the air. And then with the Eagles, it's really because Carson Wentz is a good quarterback. I think he'll make enough plays. And you said that it's last stand for them, so I think we'll see their best shot offensively. And with that, we'll jump to Cincy at the Rams, the over-under 48.
Tough. I'm going under because I think this game is going to be lopsided. And I think the Rams defense has a little bit more rejuvenation with the addition of Jalen Ramsey. I don't know if the Bengals put up more than 13, 14 points. Yep. That's why I'm going under.
I 100% agree. Under because of that reason. If the Bengals are able to score a lot on the Rams, then they got serious issues. And like you just said, they just acquired Ramsey. That's huge, and he played well in that first game that he had with them. And then the Rams offensively, I think they're going to definitely take care of business, but not much from the Cincinnati side. With that, we'll jump to Arizona at New Orleans, over under 48.5.
Oh, under. Sure about it, man. I just don't know if this Kyler Murray thing is what it's all cracked up to be.
Yeah.
And then is this New Orleans team going to... I know Arizona can't cover anyone. Like we already know that, but it's been a little bit better in the last 2 weeks. But I don't see Teddy just carving them up. I mean, Drew Brees says he's playing, so I'm sure some people will come out here and be like, over money pick. It's just... I'm going under, but I don't think Drew Brees should play this game. Not saying that I think Teddy should supplant him. I would just take another week.
Yeah, sit out and rest. They can get this W without him, but I'm changing my pick from over to under because I agree with you. And also, if somebody does bet this game, because I believe you picked New Orleans to win and cover the 9.5-point spread, and I got to jump to that too. I'm not betting this game, but if somebody does bet it, go New Orleans because the more I thought about it, it would be stupid to bet against them. They're playing really good football, and it's been consistent week in and week out.
They're the most consistent team in this league, and they're probably the best team in the league at the moment. They really are.
Yeah, the way they're playing, I can't disagree. And with that, we'll jump to Oakland at Houston, the over-under 51.5.
Give me the under here. I know this sets up for an over because we know Oakland doesn't really rush the passer all that well. We know when Deshaun has time, there's big plays. But I'm looking at this Houston offense, and I'm looking at this Oakland offense, and who can go vertical? That's what you need to do against Houston. You need to go vertical. Stop throwing it short. Go vertical on them like Jacoby Brissett did. That doesn't happen. This is under, even though they run the rock really well.
Yeah, and this is a tough one for me, but I'm going over because I think Oakland could possibly upset Houston this week.
I think they can, but it'll be a different type of game.
I have to agree in the sense that they'll run first, but how bad that Houston secondary is, though, if they do get the run established, I think Carr can find ways to score points. And with that, we'll jump to Carolina at the 49ers, over under 42.5.
Yeah, I know everyone's really on this train of going, every 49ers game is going to go under, and I understand that logic, but Carolina is going to put up at least 17, 20 points. I don't think this is going to be like a 6-point Rams performance. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is the best defense in the NFL this year, and I'm just discounting it, even though I'm a huge Bosa fan. Give me the over here.
Yeah, I'm going over as well. And I'm just not – I know the 49ers, they'll find ways to score some points. From Carolina, I can't bet against them right now.
Yeah.
I mean, even though I'm scratching my head as to how they're able to do what they're doing offensively each week, teams just simply can't stop or refuse to stop McCaffrey. And until that changes...
Yeah, I don't know why they aren't loading the box and letting Kyle Allen try to get 350 yards passing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it.
And you always have to leave some kind of a spy or a zone to the outside because they love to run screens to him too. And they refuse to do that.
That might be the thing that gets under my craw the most. Like, all the short passes to him.
And no one's around him.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
It's week in and week out, so we're going over in that game. Next game, Denver at Indy, over under 43.
Who the hell knows? I'm going over, but who the hell really knows? Is there going to be a response from Denver? Can anyone really count on that? I know we won some money when we knew there was going to be a response after that slow start. I don't know, man. This baby might be done and dusted. They might be already browsing orbits and Google flights for places to go after the season. I'm going over, but really, really tentatively.
Under because of the disgust from Denver this season, and also trading away Emmanuel Sanders, letting the 49ers get even better. Sutton's great and all, and we like Lindsey, but that's not going to be enough to get this done. You take away Sutton, Flacco's going to have nowhere to go with the football. So I got to go under. Indy's fully healthy defensively. And with that, we'll jump to Cleveland at New England, the over-under 46.
Giff, I think a shootout breaks out here, and I'm going over. And it's just because eventually someone's going to be able to solve this New England riddle. It's actually not really that complicated. It's just they play man-to-man like 90% of the time. If someone checked out the statistic, I don't know. Feel free to comment it, subscribe, of course. But Giff, Cleveland's got a whole week to prepare for this. Mm-hmm. They got to come out slinging. They're not going to run it. That's just not what Cleveland does, even though they should run it more. And I think New England, you can protect against them a little bit better than people think, even though the blitzes, especially in the A-gap, are pretty extreme. I'm going over here. And Cleveland's defense, Brady's going to put up at least 24-30 on them. That's going over.
Yeah, I'm going over. And I really hope from a Cleveland side that they put forth a lot of effort. And that's a big gamble this week, no doubt. I mean, I put the money on Cleveland to cover this. But, yeah, we haven't seen anything from them that's consistent. But they do have the weapons to get it done. And Brady, you're right, it's not a big riddle, but he's lethal off the play action. It's just disgustingly good how he is with that.
And this Brown secondary is really, really vulnerable.
Yeah.
And they're going to be able to block Myles Garrett. So if you do that against Cleveland, you got some holes. But if you don't block him, then they're actually really, really tough.
Yeah, and the point spread is huge, so that's why I'm going with Cleveland to cover. Mm-hmm. But I really think New England's going to have their way. Even with Denzel Ward and Greedy Williams coming back, that'll help a little bit. But I feel like New England's going to be able to do whatever they want. Although with Sanu now, though, they have another weapon now with Edelman. And they get him for basically nothing. Everybody thought it was high priced. I didn't think a second round was that much.
Not with some of the way these teams spend second rounders, Giff. I saw a thing last week that like 60 to 64% of second rounders are busts.
Yeah.
So even though they should be starters.
And you get a low end number one receiver, it's a pretty good deal, I think. I don't want to get into it. And with that, we'll jump to Green Bay at Kansas City, the over under 48.
Under. Matt Moore's playing quarterback, correct?
Yeah.
Come on now.
I find it funny that they're teasing Mahomes. Like, he's just doing, like, a little stretch, and they...
yeah, he's like... I saw him, like, he's doing like this. They're like, yeah, he's ready. Come on now. They're not going to do that, especially with the state of the AFC West. You'd be silly to bring him back. That's why I'm going under. Also, this Packers offense, there'll be 2 quarters where they're absolutely whipping work, but we know they're going to stall for another 2 quarters. And I'm not saying this Packers offense is going to be ineffective against a really, really poor Kansas City defense, but I do think Kansas City defense provides a little bit of resistance under.
I'm going under in this game as well. I think the big surprise in this game would be if Kansas City could run the football, because that would open up a lot in the playbook. But I don't see that happening. They haven't been able to do it this year yet. So if they can't run it, Matt Moore's not going to be putting up points.
No. But, but then again, Kansas City has so many options on offense. If you can just raise up and throw a screen pass, which some quarterbacks in this league can't even lead guys correctly on like a screen pass, I think Kansas City will be able to do a little, but like you said, not a lot.
Not a lot. I mean, Andy Reid got really creative against Denver, but that's Denver who's imploding.
Yeah.
Green Bay is in a pretty good position.
Although people were saying we were dumbasses for saying Kansas City was a money pick even before Pat Mahomes, even with Pat Mahomes.
And everybody thought Denver just because of the history.
What the fuck does that have to do with anything?
Because historically Denver played them close.
Historically, they had a top 5 head coach in the lead in Mike Shanahan. Vic Fangio's over here. What does it mean?
Yeah, and they had Peyton Manning a couple of years ago. It doesn't mean that's now.
Jake the Snake Plumber looks like John Elway compared to Joe Flacco.
Yeah, people are wishing Jay Cutler was back. That's how sad it's getting.
Jesus.
And we'll wrap it up with Miami at Pittsburgh, over under 43.5.
I'm going over because Fitzpatrick, but there's going to be turnovers. But this is a gift. I just don't understand why Monday night is so bad. Like, I know the NFL wanted to, like, focus everyone's eyes on Sunday night, but it would be nice to actually have some good Monday night games because, honestly, to be completely honest, like, by Sunday night at 8:30, I'm a little bit kind of washed out, a little bit footballed out.
Oh, me too.
Why put these crappy games on Monday?
It seems like, it just seems every primetime game hasn't been very good.
Yeah, like even like Cowboys, Eagles, like how many times have we seen this on Sunday Night Football? When there's other games I'd rather see, like...
I mean, I know you're looking forward to the Vikings game because it's your team, and I'll certainly be watching, but we know they're going to win. It's not like it's going to be a competition.
I know, like, it's like kind of like, and I'm a Vikings fan, but I'm not even that excited for the game because there's really no suspense. I mean, it's just a matter if they cover the spread or not. If that gets you going.
And I'd not put money on that game.
Please don't.
And I got to go over as well. I just think that the Steelers defensively will probably even get some points off of turnovers, and then maybe Miami gets a couple garbage touchdowns at the end, and it'll be enough to go over.
Subscribe, hit the like button, share the videos, the Lawson and Gift Podcast.